Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About. And in this episode we're talking about SCP-485, otherwise known as the Death Pen. I have never read this one. It's a very short article, but yeah, I'm thinking with conversation makes for a pretty decent episode, especially since it's called the Death Pen as opposed to the Death Note. I don't know what it does. I've never read this one. I've never even heard of this one. I just kind of scrolled and decided, yep, this one. If you want to read this article, go to the SCP Wiki and then go to SCP-485 Death Pen. There's no picture for the article, but if you look it up and you go to images, this is what comes up. So, it just looks like an average pen. It has advance on it, which I think is pretty weird. Is that just a normal pen? I'm not a pen connoisseur myself. So, need to brush up on my pens. Object class is safe, meaning it's relatively easy to contain and poses extremely little to no threat, at least when contained. And with that being said, let us begin. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-485 is to be kept in a locked safe deposit box at all times with a key to be kept in a secure location. That is it for Special Containment Procedures. You know what? If it works, it works. I guess that is really all you would need for an inanimate object. Like, let's be honest. I don't know what it does. Judged by the name Death Pen, I feel like that's drastically little when it comes to containment. But what do I know? What do I know? Safe deposit box. Where? Is it just like in a locker in the Foundation in one of the sites somewhere? Because that'd be funny. And what, the key has to be kept separate? Obviously. The key has to be kept separate because, you can't have anyone getting in. If someone gets in, well then, congratulations. Whatever Death Pen does is now gonna get that person the death penalty. Is that what this is? Is this a play on words? Death pen, death penalty? I don't know. I've genuinely never read this one. Description. SCP-485 appears to be a standard retractable pen with an unusually easy-to-click button. The pen itself was accidentally stolen by Dr. Daj? I think that's how you say that, Dr. Daj. If I'm saying that wrong, please forgive me. English is not my strong suit, despite it being my only speakable language. Upon renewing his life insurance policy, so the pen itself was accidentally stolen by Dr. Daj upon renewing his life insurance policy. That's kind of funny. That's actually really funny. It's like, oh, life insurance died. Maybe. The pen once belonged to Agent Redacted of Redacted Life Insurance Incorporated. Each time the pen's tip is extended, a random person known to the user dies by an unknown cause. Since the button's actions is abnormally smooth, subjects during testing were noted to rapidly click the pen without conscious thought of realization of what was happening. Oh my god, that's terrible. Each time the pen tip is extended, so each, like how people like fidget with a pen, like click, 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 click. Every time the pen tip goes out, someone you know dies. Random, completely arbitrary. Someone you know dies. That could be dangerous. Does it have to be like you readily know them, or it's like, I've seen this person walking his dog. Now if I click this pen, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance he dies, kind of thing. Is that how it works? Or is it like you have to act like readily know them? Like by name? If that's the case, then like your loved ones could die, and people just rapidly click the pen as a fidget. without realizing what the hell they're doing. Jesus Christ. And it was stolen from a life insurance place. Like, he went to the place, got the pen, decided to keep the pen, just so happened to be that pen was an SCP. It was just stolen. How many people died before containment? That did, like, Lord knows how long that pen has been there. Continuing on. Initial discovery occurred upon Dr. Redacted, falling dead mid-sentence as Dr. Daj was absently clicking his pen near his desk. Daj called his wife, only to discover no answer at a normally reachable location, including her place of employment. Supervisor Redacted was found dead with a mildly surprised look on his face. Pen was given SCP status, testing to follow shortly. So essentially the only reason they knew it was an SCP is because he was just clicking the pen normally and people were just dying around him. People he worked with were just dying around him. That's kind of not good. Kind of. It's fucking terrible. It would have gone unnoticed. It would have gone unnoticed if he wasn't absent-mindedly clicking the pen. Granted, he had no idea. He cannot be held accountable for this. He didn't know. Is he committing manslaughter or not? This opens up so many questions to legality of, is he at fault? Because, like, the act of clicking that pen and kills a person, is the person who was clicking the pen found guilty of manslaughter? Was he tried and quartered? Was he just executed? I swear to God. Like, knowing the SB Foundation, they probably killed that doctor, but I feel terrible about that because his name isn't redacted. I don't know. It really does beg the question, like, how many people have died before this? Before it even being into custody of the doctor that stole the pen. Continuing on. The pen's action was confirmed by a recluse Class D personnel, who only knew 39 living people. All met since his interment at location redacted on base. Said personnel successfully dispatched upwards of 90% of the remaining test subjects on hand, as they had all been selected from the same dormitory wing on base. Procedure for obtaining live testing personnel has been updated to require more randomization in the selection process. So how they tested it is they took a D class, they took the pen and said, here you go, and he just started clicking. He just started tip, 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 and he only knew 39 people, and they all died. And from there, it killed 90% of the remaining test subjects they had on hand for it, which, it's kind of funny. But if they want to obtain another live testing personnel, they have to have more randomization in the selection process. Does it matter? Is distance a factor? Probably not. That can have really devastating things now that I think about it. Like, you click the pen, someone you know dies. Imagine, like, your significant other was a pilot, and it just so happened you clicked the pen and they died mid-flight. Imagine, like, it's a truck driver, and they just die in the middle of the highway. It's like instant death, like no cause. Let's say, like, heart attack, organ failure, just old age, dying cells, evaporation, turn to dust. Or is it just like, yep, I'm dead, and there's no clear tell as to why that person died? They just are dead. Good mother of God. There's only a little bit left. Addendum. Due to Dr. Daj's recent personal tragedy involving nearly all of his friends and family, SCP-485 is hereby remanded to off-person custody in a locked safe deposit box. Note: At least he stopped that damn infernal clicking at all hours at his desk. Now if he would just stop crying. Dr. Bright. And that's the article. That's it. That's kind of a messed up thing to say, Dr. Bright, okay? All his friends and family are dead. That's horrible. No person should have to go through that, especially like knowing they were the cause of it. They shouldn't have to go through that. They really shouldn't. Dr. Daj's nearly all his friends and family died. Nearly all of them. Like that guy must be like he'll never touch a pen again. He must be traumatized, distraught, depressed. I feel so bad for that doctor that found the pen. He accidentally killed all of his friends and family. Almost all of it. Almost all of them. That is horrible. And that's what Dr. Bright has to say. Even though he knows this hellish tragedy, Dr. Bright is saying, well, at least he isn't crying. That is terrible. That's like disgustingly bad. No person should ever have to go through what Dr. Daesh. I still have no idea if I'm saying his name right, but no person should have to go through that. This pen is like, it reminds me of like the Death Note, but very much easier. Like I wouldn't, maybe not easier. Maybe easier is not the word I'm looking for. Very much, I don't know. What word would I use here? Simpler, less complex. It's like the Death Note. You write for anyone who hasn't watched the anime, cover your ears if you don't want spoilers. If you don't care, then it's like Death Note. You have to write the name in there, and then 45 seconds later they die of a heart attack, or if you specify it however you want. This pen is like tap dead, and it's random selection. People you know. You don't get a choice. It's someone you know is going to die if you tap this pen. It's like those memes where it's like, you could press this button and gain $100,000, but a random person you know will die. And you see the person like tap the button 100 times. Or it's like it takes a year off your life and people just keep pressing it. Like this simple pen, this like simple household appliance is such a deadly weapon. Like how much how safe are you in the SCP universe where anything you pick up could kill you and you have no idea? No. Like it's just a pen. It's not like 096 or 173 where they are just deadly. They are inherently deadly. This is just a inanimate object which if a person gets their hands on without knowing what it is, death. Simply death. That's it. And they're keeping this behind such light containment procedures. Granted, it probably works. Like, it probably works a lot. No one wants to go through what Dr. Daesh went through, but I don't think that's secure enough. It kind of has me a bit worried that it's that little security. You know what you could do? Here's an idea. Incinerate it. It's that simple. You don't want people to deal with it? Incinerate it. Kill it. Die. Burn it. Destroy it. Cut it in half. Or even better yet, take out the goddamn spring in the pen and put it back together. With that being said, I think I'm gonna leave this episode here. This is a fairly short article. I kind of just randomly picked it, but I kind of liked it. The short articles have always been a favorite of mine because they're very simplistic. The long ones have much more discussion, but the long ones also have like pretty deep lore and story. But the short ones have like that mystery aspect, which I like. I don't care. I'll read them all, like Pokemon, but way harder and more time consuming. But that being said, I'm gonna leave this one here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, as that helps me with motivation, as well as wanting to do this more in the future. If you have any suggestions as to what SCP I should review next, please leave a comment down below, and I will greatly consider it and probably choose it, because if I don't have to make a decision, that's much better for me. If you guys tell me what you want me to read and react to and talk about, I will gladly do it. Whatever SCP you guys want. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.